In this video, we will learn everything about eyelash extensions and how to choose them properly for each individual customer. The eyelash extensions are classified by length, curl, thickness, or diameter. So let's break it down. The length of eyelash extensions typically ranges from a tiny 6 mm to a very long 18 mm. For better understanding, let's divide them into a few groups.
6 to 9 mm are short, usually used for inner corner lashes. 10 to 13 mm are medium. These are the most popular length. They are pretty noticeable but still natural looking. 14 mm and up are pretty long lashes. They can be used to create extra dramatic looks.
Choosing the right length for a customer sometimes can be challenging. A lot of times, customers ask for much longer extensions than their natural lashes. The safest way to go is to choose an eyelash extension that is not longer than 3 mm than the natural eyelash of a customer. Otherwise, there's a risk of damaging or breaking the natural eyelash when it grows out. Please advise the customer that their retention will be shorter and they will have to come in for a fill at least in 1.5 to 2 weeks. And now let's move on to curls. There are quite a few different curls. J, B, C, D, DD, L, L+. So let's talk in more detail about the curls. So let's talk about the J curl. J curl is almost straight. It does not make any difference when applied on a customer's natural eyelashes. Let's spill some tea, guys. That curl is ugly. Don't use it. But it's none of my business. So let's talk about the B curl. B curl is only slightly more curled up than a J curl. It's still pretty straight and it doesn't make any difference for a customer. We do not recommend using it. Let's move on to the most commonly used curls. C curl is one of the most natural and the most popular curl types. This curl is suitable for all eye shapes, so when in doubt, use a C curl. D curl is another commonly used curl type. It is curlier than a C and creates more noticeable open eye effect. The next curl is a DD curl. It is even more curled up than a D. It is not as commonly used as a C and a D because it doesn't suit every customer. The next curl is an L curl. It is also not as commonly used as a C and a D because it doesn't have a natural curl shape. The shape of an L curl is very angled and rigid. This curl benefits customers with hooded eyelids and deep-set eyes. It is also a very artsy curl as it can create a very interesting effect. It is important to know that not every curl suits every customer. It's also important to analyze customers' eyes and understand what they're looking for. Let's move on to eyelash extensions thickness or diameter. They are the same thing. The eyelash extension's thickness ranges between 0.05 mm to 0.35 mm. The 0.05 and 0.07 mm eyelashes are very thin and can only be used for volume sets. 0.10 mm lashes can be used for both classic sets and volume sets. For classic sets, they can be used for someone who has extremely thin natural lashes. I got the 0.07s here in 3D. Okay. 0.12 mm lashes are perfect for most customers for classic sets, but they can also be used for 2D volume sets. 0.15 mm lashes are for classic sets only. They can be used for most customers with healthy, thick lashes. 0.18 mm eyelashes can only be used for classic sets and only on customers with naturally very thick lashes. And then we have 0.20, 0.25, 0.30, 0.35. To be honest, guys, we do not recommend using anything above 0.18 because all these thicknesses are extremely thick, they do not look natural, and they're also very damaging for natural lashes. As we learned, length, curl, and As we learned, length, curl, and diameter have to be picked individually for every single customer. If the extension is too thick for a natural eyelash of a customer, it can be damaging to it, and also the retention will be shorter. Let's move on to blueprints. There are 3 common blueprints that eyelash technicians use: doll eye, fox eye, and the infamous cat eye.
Doll eye blueprint or style focuses on adding longer lashes in the middle of the eye, which creates an open eye effect. In the fox eye style or blueprint, the longest lashes go right in the arch of the eyebrow. And in the famous cat eye blueprint or style, our longest lash extensions go to the outer corners of the eyes.
To create a blueprint, you will need to divide eye into blocks. Each block shows what length you're going to use in particular areas. This process is called mapping. Let's move on to eye shapes. Every face is different, so are the eye shapes. It is important to learn and to distinguish different eye shapes so that you can suggest the best solution for a customer that will complement their facial features.
First, let's start with almond eyes. They are considered to be a perfect shape. They tend to be oval shaped with narrow corners. The outside corners might turn up slightly. All blueprints or styles will complement this shape. Next shape is round eyes. Round eyes are wide open in the middle. To balance those big eyes, we want to elongate them. So fox eye and cat eye blueprints will fit those round eyes the best. Deep set eyes with prominent brow bone or hooded eyes. For those eyes, we want to choose lashes with more length and soft curl, like C. Too curly extensions like D or DD can become uncomfortable for a customer and irritates the upper lid. For those eyes, use a doll eye or fox eye blueprint. The next type is wide set eyes. When you work with wide set eyes, make sure to go with shorter lashes in the outer corner and put longer ones in the middle of the eye to create a balance between the eyes. Any curl will work just fine. A doll eye blueprint is the best for this option. The next type is close set eyes. To balance those eyes, it is recommended to use longer eyelash extensions in the outer corners and then shorter towards the middle and inner corner. A fox eye or a cat eye blueprint will complement those eyes the best. Monolid eyes tend to have monolid eyelids. They also tend to have naturally straight lashes. C-curl or L-curl will be the best option to use in those cases. Also, put shorter eyelash extensions in the inner and in the outer corners. Use doll eye and fox eye blueprints for those type of eyes. And the last type is downturned eyes. To balance those eyes, we want to visually lift them up. So, to do this trick, we want to use a doll eye along with curlier eyelash extensions, like a D-curl.
Always take a moment to identify which eye shape your customer has. As you can tell, it is very important to know about curl, about length, about thickness or diameter, about blueprints and eye shapes of a customer. So make sure to check customers' eyelashes before you pick all of this properly. All this knowledge and understanding will help you customize the best option for your customer. Make sure to take notes and study because a lot of this information will be on the test.